Hi, so today we are going to look at outlining the speech. So I want you to think about for a while, can you build a house without a blueprint, or can you cook without a recipe? Do you think that it's possible to build a house without any blueprint or any draft of how your house would look like? Seems impossible, right? So what is a blueprint actually? Blueprint is the outline of your speech. The same thing as what blueprint acts in your when you want to build a house. So outline will helps you to make sure that you can relate all the items that you have, gather the ideas that are going to flow from one paragraph to another paragraph. So the detail of the outline will develop during the process of the speech preparation. So now you are in the process of preparing the speech preparation. So this will include to add the title, specific purpose, and also the main idea and supporting points in your speech. Okay, so what are the guidelines? So here's you have a few guidelines. So first of all, you must state the specific purpose of your speech, the objective of your speech. Next is to identify the central idea. And then you should label the introduction, the body of the paragraph, and also the conclusion. Remember to use a consistent pattern of the arrangement of your main point. Then next, you're going to state the main points and subpoints in full sentences. Even though that you're going to write a speech outline, but bear that in your mind that all the sentences should be right in full sentence. Okay, next, attach a bibliography. So last week you have looked through how to write reference, right? So reference is actually a bibliography. Next, give your speech a title, perhaps a catchy one, so that you can catch your audience attention to listen to your speech. You need only flesh out your outline with subpoints and subpoints as necessary to support the main points. Okay, you don't need any elaboration in your speech outline, only the main points and also subpoints. Okay, lastly, by outlining, you're going to make sure that the related ideas are together, that your thoughts flow from one to the next and to the end to make the speech coherent. Okay, so what is the component of the speech outline? So there are three important components, which are the first one, introduction. You must have the body of the paragraph, 3 body of the paragraph, and also 1 conclusion. So all of these will make up to 5 paragraph speech text later. So how does the introduction look like? So under introductions, you're going to have 3 key important things. So the first one is attention getting opener. Attention getting opener is to grab the audience attention. You can use question, you can write interesting facts, you can tell story based on your experience, or you can use quotation. Next is a preview. Preview is a summary of what you're going to talk about in your speech. So you can begin by writing, today I'm going to talk about how to decorate a cupcake. Okay, and then you're going to list out A, the first main point, B, second main point, and 3, the third main point. And then you move on to the transition. Transitions actually act as a bridge to bridge one paragraph to another paragraph, to bring your audience from the introduction paragraph to the next paragraph. So next, you're going to have the body of the paragraph. So body of paragraph will consist of the 3 paragraphs, which is the first main point, second main point, and third main point. So first main point, you are going to write what is your first main point, and then supported by 2 supporting points, and the second transition. So you're going to repeat the same thing 3 times because you have 3 main points. Next, you're going to write the conclusion. So conclusion, you have a few things. The first one is a summary. So summary, a general summary of your speech, and then A, B, C, you're going to write or restate your 3 main points, and then concluding remarks. Concluding remarks is the function of concluding remarks is the same as attention getting opener. It's how you end your speech. Okay, so last but not least is a reference. So please state it, what are the reference that you use when you are preparing the speech outline. Okay, next we're going to move on to support your ideas. So what are the supporting materials that you have? So, number 1, you have examples. You can use example. Second, you can use statistics. 3, you can use testimony. And 4, citing sources only. So what is examples? Examples is specific instances when you use to illustrate your point to represent a group of people. It can be an idea, condition, experiences, or anything that is related. So ideas become specific, personal, and also lively. So this is what you call as an examples. So examples are divided into 3 types. The first one is you call as brief examples, also called as specific instances. Okay, so maybe referred to in passing to illustrate a point. Okay, let's say in your speech you're going to like an example, so you give the examples. So meaning that you're going to tell the example in brief. Extended examples is when you use this as a story, a narrative, or anecdote developed at some length to illustrate a point. Okay, last but not least is hypothetical example, which is an example that describes an imaginary or fictitious situations. This is when maybe you are telling a story to your children, so you want to come up with hypothetical examples. Next is the tips for using examples. So here's our 5 tips. First, use to clarify your idea, to make your ideas more, to give a clarification of your idea. Next is to reinforce your ideas, to make it more sounds convincing. Use examples to reinforce your ideas and to make it personalized to your idea. Number 4 is to make your examples vivid and richly textured. Also to make people believe in what you say. 5 is to practice delivery to enhance your extended example. Okay, next, you can use facts and statistics to support your ideas. So facts is a statement that can be verified by independent observers. Okay, facts you cannot change. Statistics is expressed in numbers or numerical data. So when you want to describe a size, make a predictions, illustrate trends, or show relationships, so you are going to use a statistics. Next, speech that is supported by statistics is usually more persuasive than undocumented presentations. So perhaps you are going to use more statistics in the persuasive speech. So as a speaker, you must be aware of possible bias in the use of numbers. Okay, here's some tips when you want to use statistics. Okay, so you should use statistics to quantify your idea. Okay, to show a quantity. Quantify. Okay, explain and use statistics sparingly. Also to identify the sources of your statistics when you explain your statistic in your speech. And then run off complicated statistics. Make it maybe 1 or 2 pointed. Then last but not least is use visual aids to clarify statistical trends. For example, you can use pie chart, bar graph, and etc. Okay, next, you can also use testimony as a to support your idea. Testimony is the quotation or paraphrases used to support a point. So it consists of written or oral statements of others' experiences used by a speaker to substantiate or clarify a point. Okay, it's an oral statement of others, so you can use as testimony. Okay, next, there are two types of testimony. So the first one, you call it as expert testimony. So by the title expert, of course, it's from people who are recognized expert in their field. For example, doctors, a nurse, a lawyer, even a teacher. A good way to lend credibility to your speech. Okay, and also expert testimony is even more important when a topic is controversial. For example, nowadays we are talking about vaccines for COVID-19. Of course, we are going to believe doctors rather than normal people who don't have that title. Okay, next, quoting versus paraphrasing. Quoting is a direct quotation of what someone said on a certain issues, rather than quoting someone verbatim, so you can present the gist of that person's ideas in your own words, which is called paraphrasing. Next is the principle of a good form. So what is it? Quote or paraphrase accurately. Use testimony from a qualified sources only. Don't just simply adopt a testimony into your speech. Use testimony from unbiased sources. Last but not least is to identify the people you quote or paraphrase. Okay, next is the ethical use of supporting materials. So make sure that you provide the date of the source, context of information cited in your speech, these are the citation and references, which is very important. Don't present an opinion as though it was a fact. Fact is a fact, you cannot change it. Remember that statistics are open to differing interpretations. Okay, also protect your listeners from biased information. Use unbiased information to support your ideas. 5, tell listeners if you can't identify the exact sources of your information. You should avoid this in your speech as well. Last but not least is be sure examples reflect the reality of what you are talking in your speech. Okay, that's all. Thank you, everyone.